Do you guys like the movie? Before we continue, I would like to invite down one other person to do the Q&A with me, the editor of the film, Aaron Deck, who's somewhere in the audience. Yeah, Aaron! Woo! I met Erin. She edited my last film, The Barons, and I fell in love with her, and I was like, you're coming to LA and you're going to cut The Devil's Carnival in my garage. So, thank you very much. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out and being here. So, we're going to make this very informal. If you guys have questions, we're going to answer them. So, raise your hands and let's get to it. We'll start right there, Hobo Clown. You're going to come back to that question at the very end. I know what you're going to ask me. You're going to come back to that at the very end. So just stay there. I promise to come back to it at the very end. You guys don't want to know what he's going to ask. Let's ask another question. Yes, over here to the right.
So what's the deal with episode 2? Yeah.
Episode 2. So this, hopefully you guys can tell, was conceived of as a TV series. Kind of the idea was Terrence and I got together and we both really, really loved Tales from the Crypt. And we both kind of had the same feeling about Glee. So let's make Tales from the Crypt meets the anti-Glee. That being said, so we've already written part 2. We're in the middle of writing part 3. And if we continue on like we're doing right now and we continue to get theaters to show us and you guys to keep showing up, we'll keep making them. So, you know, spread the word. If you liked it, tell your friends, and that'll help us make part 2. We're just staring at the stage. There's like blood droplets everywhere. It's pretty awesome.
There's literally blood on the stage.
Way in the very back, I see someone's hand raised. Or not. All right. Yes, right here. Yes.
Okay, so if hopefully, fucking awesome by the way.
Thank you.
If you guys were able to do the second one, you said you already written it. Are we going to expect three people being brought down to hell each episode, or will it more entail like 4 people, 2 people, 1 people?
Can I tell them a little bit about it? Get ready for heaven. And if you think here's kind of our idea, is that we thought it was kind of interesting of what if Lucifer was the hero and God was the villain? That being said,
that's not my game, that's his.
Exactly. Well, that being said, heaven is going to be a lot darker than hell. And the fact, so just I think you're going to get to see the equivalent of heaven's carnies. And that'll be part 2, hopefully. But then part 3 is pretty badass as well. I kind of want to tell you about, in one of the future episodes, in part 3 actually, we have a duet between Clown from Slipknot and Emily Autumn. Other questions? Yes. No, I'm not. Are you going to ask the question? Okay, go ahead. I mean, listen, I love Anthony Head, as you saw. He was in that little opening bit that we did. We're fans with them and we're friends with them. But it comes down to when you're making a movie on a macro budget, and I mean, we shot the movie in 7 days. We recorded the album in 1 day. We had very, very little time and less money. And so, I mean, both of them, specifically Anthony, lives overseas. And so that one plane ticket was more than our entire budget of the movie. So it comes down to if we have the ability, obviously, yes. Sarah was actually herself going to record one of the opening things as well. And just due to she was recording her own album right now. We were not able to work it out schedule-wise. But yeah, we're still friends with them. And I would say we want everyone in Repo back in this to some extent.
Yes. Any other questions?
Oh.
Yes.
Are you thinking of doing it like the Divine Comedy and having a purgatory episode?
No. Maybe season 2.
Yes, right here.
Okay, this is
dirty, but I'm okay with that. So, when you sing, and when you hit those low notes, I just what? I'm a very low singer for a female, but I just, what is that feeling you get? Like,
I think someone's been sitting on the speakers when I hit those low notes. Next question.
Why did you choose those 3 fables? Was there any particular reason?
Well, there's about 600 Aesop fables, and so there's no shortage of source material for future episodes. And I've actually read through all of them a few times, and there's multiple versions of those fables. But my process was to kind of read through them and grab a bucket full that I thought were not only interesting to me, but would make good dramatic narratives for a film. And then beyond that, it was trying to find 3 that had very different feelings to them. So the Merry-Widow one, obviously, to me is the most simple of the fables, which is don't be greedy. The Scorpion and the Frog is a little more complicated in the sense that continually I get people asking me, what was Tamara's sin? Apparently being a perpetual victim in some people's eyes is actually an okay thing. But in hell it's not. And then the last one, which I think is the most interesting to me, and probably the least common of a cautionary tale, which is grief in its due. And the basic notion, of course, is about at some point, if you don't let go, you're in the wrong. So that was kind of the process, and I've got some interesting ones selected for the next one, so hopefully you'll enjoy those as well.
I'm going to call out someone in the audience, but before I want to kind of preface why they're being called out. We did this movie, we did this whole thing for basically no money, and it was something that we did based on people's belief in the project or passion. Like for example, we had just ended the Barons, and I told Aaron, I said, listen, this is going to sound really crazy, but will you edit this for no money and come and do this for no money, and I can't even feed you, but it'd be fun. And for some reason she said, okay. But it's crazy because you're looking at the actors in this thing. I'm sure we have some play grads in the audience. No one? Some Skinny Puppy fans, from Slipknot fans. Getting these cast members was probably one of the easiest things we've done. And the fact that we reached out to them, we gave them the script that Terrence wrote, and they got it. And it's amazing when people get it. And because of that, I want to single out someone that put numerous hours in this project, and without him, it wouldn't look the way it did, and that's Sean Schofield. Stand up for a second. Sean is responsible for every piece of artwork you see on the t-shirts that you're wearing, on the character cards, on the poster. Thank you, Sean, so much. And again, for those Repo fans in the house, Sean was also the one that made all the propaganda art. So, thank you for being badass. Let's do a couple more questions. Yes, right here in front.
All right. Well, I actually have a double-part question, but my first question is, Terrence, as you starting out, do you have any comments? Because as for I actually want to pursue acting as a career and actually make something out of it. But do you have any comments you would say to a future actor or someone who's just trying to start out?
I'm probably the last person you should ask in that regard. And that's not to dismiss your question, but rather, kind of like what we're doing tonight, I've never really played by the rules. And I'm sure most actors that work consistently, and I'm not one of those people, is your job is to audition for a part. As a writer, that just doesn't work for me. I want the part, if that makes sense. So my advice, I just want to, if I'm going to do it, I want it to be cool. I want it to be something I relate to, and hopefully something the audience will relate to. So instead of spending years auditioning, which I think is what most actors do, and some are very successful at it, I spend years writing a vehicle that I would want to see made, and hopefully has a role in it that I would want to play. But that's my path, and I think that's an unusual path for a performer. But I also identify with myself as being more of a writer than a performer. That said, hope you like Lucifer.
Can I answer part of that as well? I think that one thing, my piece of advice to you, is this thing I give to every single person out there that asks this, is you can't be scared of failing. And I think that what separates me from you right now has nothing to do with talent. It has zero to do with talent. It has zero to do with, in fact, I would how many artists are in the house? Filmmakers, painters, writers, costumers. Okay. What separates those that I think have made it and done something, and those that are still waiting for that one thing, their repo, their Devil's Carnival, is not talent. It's the ability and desire that they're scared of failing. And I think I can say with Terrence and I, is that we have both failed numerous times, and we're not scared of it. In fact, I have failed 1,000,000 times more than I've succeeded. In fact, I would say if we're down to failure, you only hear about the successes. You hear about the Saw 2s or the Saw 3s, but you don't hear about the 50 films I've been fired from, or let go from, or replaced from while doing production. You don't hear about that. Because you see a movie come out and it says, oh, Saw 2 directed by, or Repo directed by. But you don't see the 80 films in between. Years of my life devoted on projects that I get replaced from. And I think that the only difference between those that are successful and those that are not, you have to have a vision, obviously, but you have to not only understand failure, you have to embrace it, because you're going to be met with all of these brick walls and obstacles. They're going to hit you every single step of the way. A lot of people turn around and they're like, I can't deal with this. Depression, you're going to have to deal with depression because that's going to happen. But eventually, you're going to hit your movie, whether that be the Devil's Carnival, the Repo, or the Saw, whatever movie you respond to, you're going to hit it. And I think that it makes that success feel that much cooler because you know that you've hit 99 brick walls, but you got through one of them. And it's all about getting through that one brick wall. So that would be my advice to that question.
Thank you.